The Saura people called this place Jomeoki, the Great Guide. For centuries, it has stood alone above the North Carolina Piedmont, a beacon for travelers. Today, I wanted to see what this lonely peak feels like up close. So we're heading 25 miles northwest of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I'm hiking from the base to the summit of Pilot Mountain to find out why this isolated knob guided so many people. We'll learn a few facts along the way, and we'll see some of the best views North Carolina has to offer. Views that continue to pull so many of us here today. This is Hiking Pilot Mountain. We've made it to Pilot Mountain State Park, and we're at the Visitor Center. Behind me is Big Pinnacle, and the Grindstone Trail runs 3.5 miles from here to all the way up there. Let's get going. It's mid-November. At its base, Pilot Mountain feels like classic North Carolina forest. Hardwoods dropping their leaves, dirt trails winding their way through, and plants along the path holding on for the last few days before winter. So we're about 20 minutes into the hike now, a bit over half a mile, something like that. And this whole first part of the hike is very much your typical North Carolina temperate forest. It's pretty, lots of trees, just a couple of weeks maybe after most of the leaves have fallen. So there's still some yellow leaves on the trees, but most of them are on the ground. But it's still just so pretty. Lots of fallen trees though. The Grindstone Trail doesn't go straight up the mountain. It wraps around the north side from east to west, and the higher you go, the rougher and steeper it starts to feel. So this is one of the few moments on the Grindstone Trail that is downhill, which means I can catch my breath a little and talk to you. So Pilot Mountain is a monadnock, which means it's an isolated peak. And I think it rises something like 1,400 feet above the surrounding plain, which means we should be able to get some spectacular views up there. It's also the sole survivor of an ancient mountain range made by an ocean that slowly deposited the rock on top of each other over billions of years and compressed it down to quartzite. And this is probably the most strenuous part of the trail. It's maybe 1/3 of a mile of pure hill. The Grindstone Trail is classified as strenuous, so just make sure you're ready for this. I climbed this hill twice just to get that shot. Okay, just got done with a long uphill stretch. Whew. And I hit the 2-mile mark a little bit over halfway. So it seems like it was about 1/4 mile of uphill hell. We are very close to the summit now, and this is where the view begins to open up. Look at this. So let's see, 1 hour, 20 minutes in, 2.75 miles from the Visitor Center, and about 866 feet of elevation gain. We come to our first beautiful overlook. I mentioned I'm here in mid-November, which means a lot of the leaves have fallen off the trees. But what that also means is that you get views like this, unobstructed, where you can just see past the trees and see this beautiful landscape. And it's a great stopping point. Oh, I should pause my hike. It's a great stopping point to take a breath, to rest a little bit, and to just take in a little bit of what we're gonna see at the summit. You know, another great thing about Pilot Mountain, and one of the reasons I love it so much, is because it's really easy to get to. I'm here on a weekday morning. There's not a lot of people around. It's very quiet. And it's a really easy to get to location because it's a monadnock, Monadnock.
Monadnock.
You don't have to drive through a lot of winding roads into a mountain range or anything like that. It's the state park and the visitor center is literally right off the freeway. And then just hike 3.5 miles to get views like this. Okay, we have maybe 3/4 of a mile left to get to the summit, so let's get up there and see some views.
It's at this point that you begin to see the landscape changing, especially the trees. A lot of pines begin to take over from hardwoods. Plants are replaced with grass, and at this point, you start getting these spectacular North Carolina views. We're now just half a mile away from the summit. Just a few short steps to go. But if a 3.5 mile hike uphill sounds daunting, you can also drive up to the summit. Or if you're here on a weekend, a shuttle service will take you all the way up and down.
So after 2 hours, 3.5 miles, 1,253 feet gained in elevation, we made it to the top of Pilot Mountain.
This is the summit parking lot, the first place you arrive after reaching the top. It's where you see your first huge panoramic views over the southern side of the mountain. Here, another trail takes you a few steps further to Little Pinnacle.
And now we're on top of the Little Pinnacle at Pilot Mountain State Park. This is as high as you can go in elevation on the trails, and this gives you the best views. 3,000 square miles of North Carolina. That alone is worth the trip. Here you can really see why people used to call it the Great Guide. When you're up here, you see so much. You see the edge of the Blue Ridge Mountains. You see the highways that we drove up on. You can probably see my house from here. Not really, that's quite far away. If you do anything at Pilot Mountain State Park when you're here, make sure you come to this spot and get in the views because they're amazing and they're some of my favorite ever. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are in this area of North Carolina, take a moment to check out Pilot Mountain State Park, especially if you can drive up to the summit or you have a couple of hours to kill to take the shuttle up to the summit just to get in the views because they're really amazing. I really enjoy making this type of video. It gets me outside, it gets me to see some beautiful places, so I'm gonna keep making them. If you're interested and want to see more, check out the channel. We'll catch you in the next one.